Alright guys, as you can see, the Z is finally back after almost 2 weeks having it in the shop. We're going to go ahead, and today I know a lot of you have been waiting for the cooling system and how I've done everything, and really just wondering how it's been working with my eBay radiator. So I'm going to go ahead and go over that real quick, and then as always guys, if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below, and I've got something at the very end that I want to talk to you guys about that hopefully is going to make this car finally work correctly. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Alright guys, so what we've got right here is the main part of our system. This is a relay for the fans, and this is the thermostat that controls it. Now this thermostat has a probe that goes along here, you can see, and I've wrapped it around. And basically what that probe does is it tells it when it gets to a certain temperature to turn the fan on. Now, if you guys know, I'm running dual 12-inch fans right here. And dual 12-inch fans can actually consume a lot of power, so you don't want to run all your fans off of just the thermostat, which is why we have the relay here. So the relay is pretty simple. We have, and it's going to be the blue line right there. It's going to be the blue line that goes down, comes up, there's a power in at the bottom, and then a power out on the other side that goes down to the fans, and then those fans come back up and they ground right here. Now this signal wire here is just, this is actually just our signal wire for this. So we've got a power from the battery, which is the gray one that was attached right there with the blue. And it comes up into this and then out, and it's our signal, and then it grounds as well right here. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and put up a chart right now, a diagram of the wiring here. It's pretty simple. It goes from the battery to the thermostat, and then the thermostat is our signal for the relay, and then that relay just has a power from the battery that goes through the fans and then is grounded again. So the most important thing that I want to talk to you guys about that I kind of overlooked when I first made this, so I first had it just straight from there to here, and then everything's grounded, and that was it. But the problem I was having is basically this probe right here, and it's hard to see because I have the bumper on, but it was going under there, and I had it inside the tube, and you guys may have seen that on one of my previous update videos. And basically it was leaking from where that was. It wasn't sealing correctly, and so it kept leaking out of that top radiator hose right there. So basically what I did is I've actually taken it, and the way that this Hayden kit, it's Hayden 3056 or something like that, I'll put a link for it down below as well. It's like 30 bucks or something, super cheap. But basically it recommends sticking it on top of the radiator, just setting it on top with a little thing it has, and I'll go ahead and put a diagram of that up right now. And that's what I eventually just had to do because I wouldn't stop leaking with it in the radiator hose. Now you could also stick it through the radiator, and that might give you a little bit better reading, but that's practically what I did, is just stick it right on top, so it's pretty darn close. Now the only other problem that I've had with this setup so far is that even when it's off and it hasn't been running that day, sometimes the fans will turn on because it's just so dang hot here. If you don't know, I live in New Mexico. It's pretty hot out here, so it'll just actually turn itself on. So what I had to do over here, right there, is another relay, and as you can see, or as you can hopefully see, it just went ahead and it broke this blue power wire that went through to the fans, and then its signal wire actually comes from the ignition. Now if you guys watched my fuel pump video for the fuel pump upgrade, just to run a single battery, which is what this black cable does, you actually will know which wire underneath the ignition is what you want to use. So I just went ahead and plumbed it into that, just spliced it in, and so that's going to be how that works. That's pretty much the biggest problem I was having, is getting that to be not come on and waste my battery a whole bunch. One thing to note guys is that this relay right here is actually a 40 amp relay, and you can kind of get different ones depending on where you get it. I got this from AutoZone. The relay I have right down here, that one's actually a 30 amp, so it just depends on where you get it. But what we want to do in order to protect our relay and our thermostat and everything is put an inline fuse, and that's what this little orange thing is right here, if you can see it. Basically you just splice it into the power wire, it cuts this blue thing in half, and you put a fuse in there. And this is a 30 amp fuse because it's a standard size, and I believe that's the biggest they put, but honestly I don't know guys. But there's a 30 amp in here, so it's going to protect our 40 amp relay from anything happening to it. So in the case that the fans do draw too much power, it should protect them nice and fine. That way we just have a good system that won't fail too miserably if we do have a bad ground or something, guys. Now the fans themselves are just regular eBay 12-inch fans, and I actually got the radiator and fans in a big bundle. It was $150. I believe it was free shipping, so it's actually a really good deal. This is a 2-core radiator, so a lot of people will say get the Champion 3-core. This is the knockoff of the Champion 2-core, and it's actually worked really well for me. I can go ahead and just like thrash this thing when I'm on the highway. I was driving it back today, and it was a champ, just taking it like no problem at all. So basically, guys, what I want to say is this isn't a bad quality radiator. If you have seen, the only problem I had was with the transmission cooler, and again, I believe that's only for automatic transmissions like I have. But I had to go ahead and get some 6AN to 5/16 barbed fittings, so this would go ahead and adapt to it. But other than that, guys, it's been a great radiator. It has a great deal. It's actually got, can't show it to you because of the bumpers in the way, but it's got bigger end tanks on this side and on the bottom there, and it holds more coolant than the stock system. And so more coolant is going to obviously give you better cooling properties as well. So that's something that I've really loved having. It's just been so reliable, and especially with this system. So remember, guys, if you have any questions, go ahead and stick them down below. Another quick note on these fans, guys. A lot of people will say that they aren't very good fans, and to be honest, it's probably true. These fans don't look really good. If you can see, they're just kind of flat blades, just angled a little bit. So they're not going to be great fans, but for regular everyday driving, it should be fine. It's just going to help keep the heat passing through when you're in stop-and-go traffic, you know. But what you can do is if you want to get some like Hayden fans, the same company that makes that Thermostat, it's actually, they have a little curved blades. You can actually see them. And there's some really good stuff. You can get them at like Pep Boys. I know they carry them. I don't know about AutoZone. But they're going to go ahead and carry these fans, and it's going to be a lot better. So if you're going ahead and tracking your car, you probably also want to use a 3-core radiator. But if you get a 3-core and then 2 of these 12-inch cooling fans from Hayden, you will have absolutely no problem cooling your car, guys. Alright, that was just another little quick thing I wanted to add there. Now on to the big surprise that I was talking about, guys. If you haven't noticed already, this channel is no longer under my name, Joshua Crapo. It is now called The Z Garage, guys. And I'm super excited. Finally changed it over. I just couldn't, for some reason, figure out how to do it. But I went ahead, and now it's The Z Garage. That is my channel name, guys. That is what we're doing now. So hopefully I'll be able to start branding all this stuff a little bit better. And as always, guys, if you haven't followed my Instagram page, go ahead and follow it. It's at the Z Garage with some underscores. It's pretty awesome, guys. I've posted a little bit of stuff there. Just today I posted when I got it. Also some awesome new stuff that I got. A new crank angle sensor that's going to go in there, and that's going to be a update video pretty soon here with how to do that. So I'm just pretty psyched, guys. I just can't wait to get the Z Garage and get it all branded and start really helping people out, and that's really what I want to do. So that's my video for today, guys. If you have any questions on the wiring here, and remember, go ahead and check out those wiring diagrams that I put up. You might have to pause it a little bit, but go ahead and check those out. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave it down below, guys. This was actually a pretty simple setup. It took a little bit when I was first doing it, trying to figure out where the grounds were going to be. And right here, this ground, if you don't know, actually holds in the factory airbox. So there, and there. So I got a little bit lucky with that. And basically, I just kind of sanded it away and then put this screw on top so that it would get a good contact. But there you go, guys. I'm super excited. The one last thing I have to say I haven't done yet, and I will do an update video when I do it, is for the AC. Now, I know a lot of guys like to delete the AC on these cars, but I live in New Mexico. I was telling you guys, it gets extremely hot here, and I just can't live without it. I drove home today for 15-20 minutes, and I was sweltering. It was terrible, guys. So what we're going to go ahead and do is, I believe this is the clutch control right here. It tells the clutch when to engage. But basically what we need to do is we need to go ahead and put a wire that goes from this to the relay as well, so that it's a new signal wire. Now the reason we want to do this is because if you turn the car on and it's not hot enough for the fans to engage yet, but your AC starts going, that's going to start compressing the air in the system. Now if it's going through the condenser in the front, which is practically a radiator, it's just this thing right here, it's the condenser. What it's going to do is it's not going to be cooling effectively, and it's actually going to build too much pressure in the system, and it can actually make it explode, so we don't want to do that. So we're going to go ahead, wire that in, and as always I'll tell you guys how I do that and make a video on it when I do. We're going to go ahead and wire that in. It's just going to come right down here and act as a secondary switch that grounds up to here again. And once that's done, we should be all good, guys. So I'm super excited for that, and I hope you found this video helpful on how to wire your fans, and I will see you guys later.